I try to do, and I swear in every employee of mine. By law, I have to swear in my sworn. I don't leave that up to a commissioner, a judge, or anyone else. I do that, and I tell them, hold your badge in your left hand and raise your right hand, and don't just repeat the words I say, think about the words, because they have a very special meaning. After I swear in my sworn staff, and it was almost unheard of, I have all my civilian staff stand up, and not to swear them in to meet some statutory requirement, but I want them to be equally invested in protecting the rights of our citizens. So I have them stand, and they take the very same oath. If you work in my organization and you ask any of my employees, what is your sheriff's top priority? They're not going to say, oh, it's reducing homicides, it's reducing robberies, it's reducing burglaries. They're going to say to serve our citizens. And I remind every graduating class, I remind them every year in service to never forget, you are given these powers, and they're very powerful. And you are given these powers by the citizens, and if you abuse them, they can take them away at any time. And if you never forget that, then you won't lose sight of why you exist. And we do exist to support our citizens. That happens to be probably one of the things that many of our elected officials that we send to DC or we send to our own state capitals that tend to forget. They think it's about their power. They think it's about citizens working for them. And it's really unfortunate. And we're starting to see a slide around the country with the courts. We heard speakers earlier talk about the courts are supposed to be there and interpret and defend us. And we're seeing them now do a 180 and support the bureaucrats and the laws that seem to chip away at our individual rights. We witness it all the time. I think it was real easy for me to support this resolution. It was a no-brainer. It's doing what I believed I took this job to do. It's what I expect every one of my employees to do, whether sworn or civilian. But it's also living that way. And although this isn't a major issue, and some people, especially in law enforcement, I came under criticism 1 year ago when, during my last campaign, I had a few people ask me, Sheriff, I know the Supreme Court has determined that roadside sobriety checkpoints are lawful, but do you really believe that they are? And I started thinking about it, and I've had that question come up during my first couple campaigns. And I thought, you know, if the Supreme Court says that it's fine, then we'll continue to do it. But after hearing it during my third campaign, I thought, you know what, it's not right. I happened to be driving with my wife going down to see my daughter during one of those nights a sobriety checkpoint was taking place. And I saw all the police cars lined up and the lights flashing and all the law enforcement professionals doing what they think is right, funneling cars off the road, trying to establish probable cause to determine if the driver was under the influence, which I think about 99% of the time, 99% of the drivers passing through are citizens going about their merry way. And I thought, what an inconvenience. And I don't believe our forefathers expected this kind of behavior to happen. So, a year ago, I put it out to the community that my office would no longer participate in roadside sobriety checkpoints. The first phone call was from the Colorado State Patrol. And they didn't talk to me personally. They talked to my administrative assistant and informed her to inform me that if we did not participate, we would lose the funding for DUI enforcement. And I said, that's fine, because I'm not going to continue to be bribed at the state level or the federal level by money to do something that I think is inappropriate. The media went around trying to get with other law enforcement in my county to try to build that coalition of the sheriff's soft on DUI, the sheriff isn't enforcing our laws, and it kind of ran silent. Nobody spoke up. But the largest populated city in our county is the city of Colorado Springs. 3 months ago, our new chief of police said he will no longer engage in roadside sobriety checks. And I think that's how you go about living what you talk about and taking up and following through with your oath of office. And even if the Supreme Court says it's okay, we still have that opportunity to make the decision to say, yes, we will, or no, we won't. And I can assure you that the next sheriff after me will have a very difficult time going back and saying it is justified and taking what little money they offer. And we've seen it too often now where federal agencies and state agencies are chipping away at the constitutional rights of our citizens by using bribe money. They're calling it grants. They're saying, if you don't do this, you're not going to get this funding. And it's time we say, I don't need your funding.
That's right.
So that's what it's about. Anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. I want to thank all of you for being here. And I'll tell you, I think being sheriff is such a unique thing. And I tell all my friends that are chiefs of police that if you really want to serve citizens, run for sheriff. Because that's where you can hear them, you can listen to them, and you don't have to worry about a non-law enforcement elected bureaucrat trying to set policy with no knowledge or understanding of individual constitutional rights. And I think that's what we're here for, and I think that's what the Office of Sheriff stands for. And I find it no surprise that there are people around the country trying to do away with the Office of Sheriff, and that's where we truly need to stand strong. So thank you.